All right, let's get right into it. We're not talking about some huge life-changing event today. Nope. We're going to break down how you can build a truly bulletproof mindset, not with some grand gesture, but from the ground up with the smallest, most powerful habits you can literally start tomorrow morning.
Man, this one hits hard, doesn't it? Because it's so true. The second you grab that phone, you're not just checking messages. You are willingly giving away your peace of mind. You're basically telling the entire world, hey, take my focus, before I've even had a single thought of my own. You're just reloading all of yesterday's chaos.
And that's the real question, right? This isn't about just finding a new morning routine. It's about forging a new identity. It's about winning that very first small war of the day against the easy, comfortable version of yourself. And it all starts by mastering what's going on inside your own head. See, before you can even think about controlling your actions, you have to win the battle inside your own mind. This is the foundation. It's about being willing to face the uncomfortable truths so you can build something real, something unshakable on top of them.
Let's be really clear about this. Brutal self-awareness is not about tearing yourself down. It's the absolute highest act of self-respect. Having the guts to look yourself in the mirror and ask, all right, where am I kidding myself? Because you can't fix what you refuse to see. Real power starts with honesty.
You have to understand, your mind is listening to every single thing you say to it. You absolutely cannot bully yourself into greatness. So this is the shift you have to make. Are you going to be your own worst critic, or are you going to be the coach who tells you the hard truth but also lifts you up? When you fail, don't say, I'm a failure. You say, okay, that was a lesson.
We are all taught to avoid pain, right? To numb it, to run away from it. But every single time you escape pain, you also escape growth. Pain is just an instructor. It's data. It's just reality giving you feedback, telling you exactly where you need to get stronger. The universe isn't trying to punish you, it's training you.
Okay, so once that inner foundation is set, we can finally move to action. This is where self-discipline stops being an idea and becomes something real, something tangible. And it's not about making these massive leaps. It's about laying one perfect brick at a time, every single day.
Now, these aren't just chores, they're declarations. Waking with purpose? That means you choose your own thoughts before the world's noise gets into your head. Making your bed? That's your first promise of the day. Kept. It's proof. And moving your body is a rebellion against that feeling of weakness. That's 3 small wins before the world even has a chance to punch back.
And this is absolutely crucial. Being reliable isn't for other people, it's for you. Every single time you tell yourself you're going to do something small and then you actually do it, you're making a deposit in your own confidence account. Your brain starts to believe you again. That is how you build self-trust.
You know, motivation is just a feeling. It comes and it goes. Amateurs wait around for it to show up. But professionals, they're defined by their commitment to act even when their soul feels heavy. They're ruled by discipline, not by emotion. And that consistency, that's what separates the legends from the people who almost made it.
Okay, so you've built this internal foundation, you're taking consistent action, now you have to defend it. Because let's be real, we live in a world that literally profits from your distraction. Your focus is under constant attack, 24/7.
This contrast right here, it's everything. Most of us are living in a constant state of shallow work, bouncing from thing to thing, and then we wonder why our brains feel completely fried. Deep work, that scheduled, protected focus, that's a modern-day superpower. If you can control your focus, you can control your future. It's really that simple.
Just think about that for a second. Every ping, every buzz, every little red dot is actively stealing your single most valuable resource, your attention. It's not harmless. It's a silent robbery of your potential, literally rewiring your brain for constant distraction.
And this is your primary weapon. Saying no isn't about being rude. It's about being responsible for your own life. Every time you say yes to something that you know will drain you, you're saying no to your own goals. Your no is a declaration of what you truly value. It's the shield that protects what actually matters.
So what's all this for? The daily inner work, these small actions, the constant defense? They're not just random habits. They are all building materials for one single, ultimate purpose.
This is the goal. This is what it's all about. Every habit, every boundary, every single moment you choose growth over comfort, you are laying another brick in a mental fortress. A fortress that doesn't collapse when the pressure is on, one that doesn't flinch when life gets messy.
And just look at what it's made of. It's not built from perfection,
No way. It's built from your scars. It's built from the promises you kept when nobody was watching. It is forged in the fire of the difficult choices you make every single day.
And this right here, this is the key takeaway. A bulletproof mindset isn't about being emotionless or never feeling fear. That's not human. It's about being unshakable. It's that quiet, calm, deep down knowledge that no matter what life throws at you, you can handle it. You will rebuild.
Nobody is going to give you an award for making your bed or for saying no to something or for just sitting in silence. These are the quiet wars. They're fought and won in private. They're not going to make you famous, but you know what? They will make you free. So the only question that matters is the one you have to answer for yourself.
All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about how to build a truly bulletproof mindset. And here's the secret. It's not about avoiding the hard stuff. It's about learning how to take all that pain, all that failure, and forge it into your greatest strength. I want to start with this one question, because honestly, it gets to the very heart of everything. You wake up, you roll over, you grab your phone. Seems harmless, right? But what if that simple act means you've already lost the battle for your own day? It's not just about checking notifications. It's about surrendering your focus before you've even had a chance to claim it. It's a choice. And today is all about making different choices. And that first choice, it begins right here. It's about declaring a personal war against average. Now let's be clear. This has nothing to do with being better than anyone else. This is an internal war. It's a war against the part of you that chooses the easy path, the comfortable path, the path of least resistance. Just think about that phrase for a second. Reloading yesterday's chaos. When your first move of the day is to scroll, you aren't really starting a new day at all. You're just plugging right back into the noise, the drama, and the priorities of everyone else from yesterday. It's a kind of mental decay. A bulletproof mind doesn't wake up hungry for a dopamine hit from a screen. It wakes up hungry for discipline. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? How do we fight back? Well, it starts by building momentum from the second your feet hit the floor. The philosophy is simple. You win the morning, you win your mind. It's all about stacking these small, deliberate victories that prove to yourself before the world gets a vote that you are in control. And here's exactly how you start building that momentum. Look, these aren't just chores on a to-do list. They are reps for your mind. Waking up without your phone, that creates priceless mental silence. Making your bed, bam, that's your first win of the day. It's a promise you made to yourself and you kept it. And moving your body, even for just a few minutes, that sends a powerful signal to your brain that you command your own vessel. Each step is a building block. But while you're doing all this, what's that voice in your head saying? This is where a huge internal shift has to happen. Are you your own worst critic, or are you your own coach? The critic says, see, you failed, you're worthless. The coach says, okay, that didn't work, that was a lesson, what did we learn, let's adjust. The voice you choose to listen to, that literally creates your reality. And this brings us to the absolute core of it all. This is the heart of a bulletproof mindset. It requires a radical, complete shift in your relationship with pain and adversity. So instead of running from it, we're going to learn how to actually use it as one of our most powerful tools for growth. Just let that one sink in for a second. The universe isn't punishing you. It's training you. Every single setback, every rejection, every moment of real hardship, it's not a punishment. It's a rep. It's the universe giving you an opportunity to get stronger. And when you believe that, the whole game changes. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what is this trying to teach me? So we're at a crossroads, right? We have a choice. Do we believe the lie that pain is the enemy to be avoided at all costs? Or do we embrace the truth that pain is actually an instructor? The mentally strong, they get this. They understand that pain is just data. It's feedback from reality, pointing a giant finger at exactly where you need to get stronger. The moment you stop running from it and start learning from it, you become a totally different person. And the exact same thing is true for failure. We're taught to see it as this final verdict on who we are, but that's just not true. Failure is just a mirror. It shows you where you're still weak, where you need to improve. And more than anything, it's proof that you had the guts to even try in the first place. The only real way to fail is to be too afraid to even step into the arena. All right, so once we start rewiring our internal world, we have to turn our attention to the external battle. Because we live in a world that is constantly fighting for a piece of your mind.
And in this world, your ability to focus is your most valuable weapon. You have to guard it like a dragon guards its gold.
I mean, think about it. There are multi-billion-dollar companies whose entire business model is based on stealing your attention. That makes your ability to concentrate, to do deep work, a genuine superpower. It's not some soft skill. It is a strategic asset. It's what decides whether you build your own life or you just get consumed by the noise of everyone else's. And just look at the thieves trying to steal that focus. They're sneaky, aren't they? They don't look dangerous. A little notification here, a mindless scroll there. But every single one of them is a silent robbery of your mental energy. Each one is literally rewiring your brain to prefer distraction over depth. So how do you build up the strength to resist these thieves? Not by thinking about it, not by reading another article about it, by taking action. Confidence isn't something you can just think your way into. It is forged in motion. Action is what kills the fear and the overthinking that keeps so many of us stuck. It's the proof your brain needs to actually believe you can do it. So stop planning to start and just start. So what's the point of all this? Where is it all leading? You see, each habit, each mindset shift we've talked about, they aren't isolated little tricks. They are the individual bricks you are using day by day to build something permanent and powerful inside you, an inner fortress. And this might be the most important idea of all. A truly strong mind isn't one that has never been hit. It's one that has been damaged, has healed, and has become stronger at the broken places. Your greatest strength doesn't come from avoiding hardship. It comes from your healed wounds. It comes from the lessons that pain has etched into you. So what are these bricks really? Well, we've been talking about them this whole time. Every time you set a boundary and say no to protect your energy. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself. Every single time you choose to face a difficult feeling instead of numbing it, you are laying another brick in the wall of your fortress. Let's be really clear about the end goal here. Being bulletproof doesn't mean you become a robot. It doesn't mean you stop feeling fear or sadness or pain. It just means that those feelings no longer get to be in the driver's seat. It's a quiet, deep-seated calm. It's a core belief that no matter what life throws at you, you can handle it. You'll figure it out. You will endure. Because ultimately, building this kind of mindset is a quiet, solitary process. It's earned in the moments no one else sees. It's built on the mornings you get up when you're tired, but you do it anyway. There's no audience for this. There's no applause. So the only question that really matters is the one you have to answer for yourself. What brick will you light today?
You know, we live in a world that is just constantly screaming for our attention. It never stops. So the big question is, how do you build a mind that's not just strong, but bulletproof? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into why the answer, the real key to that mental strength, might just be found in the one thing we're always trying to run away from: silence.
And look, it all starts the second you open your eyes. This quote here, it absolutely nails it. Think about it. The moment you grab your phone in the morning, you're not just checking emails or scrolling social media. You're giving up your peace. You're literally inviting all the world's noise and chaos into your head before you've even had a sip of coffee. You think you're waking up, but what you're really doing is reloading all of yesterday's problems. And then you wonder why you feel so drained before the day's even started. This isn't just a bad habit. It's actively wearing down your mind.
All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to build a mental fortress, step by step. First up, we have to understand what we're up against in the war against noise. Then, we'll get into building your inner foundation. After that, it's all about defending your mental space. And then we'll tap into the power of solitude. And finally, we'll see what it all comes together to create, your inner fortress. So let's just get this straight from the get-go. You are at war. I mean it. Every single day, you're in a battle. It's a battle for your attention, a battle against your own doubt, and a battle against that little voice that wants you to take the easy way out. You know, the path that leads straight to average. And that first skirmish, it kicks off the second your alarm clock rings. And this right here, this really breaks it down. Every morning, you've got two choices. On one side, you've got the average way. You know, you reload yesterday's chaos, you start scrolling, you just soak up all that noise. But then you have the winner's path. This is waking up to discipline. It's choosing silence before stimulation, purpose before the phone. And this isn't just about a morning routine, okay? This is about building a completely new identity for yourself.
Okay, so how do we actually start building the foundation for this fortress? Well, it all comes down to the promises you make to yourself, the non-negotiables, and, more importantly, having the discipline to keep those promises no matter how small they might seem.
And it really does start with small bits of proof. Take making your bed. I mean, come on, it's not really about having clean sheets, is it? It's about sending a message to your own brain. It's proof that you are in control. Every time you do it, you're stacking a tiny, undeniable win. You're literally telling your brain, hey, I finish what I start. You're building momentum before the outside world can even throw its chaos at you. That's what discipline is all about.
I love this comparison because it's so true. What's driving you? Is it motivation? Because motivation, well, it's fickle. It waits for you to be in the perfect mood. It's like a one-night stand. But discipline, discipline is different. That's the marriage. It's about consistency. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. Look, amateurs wait to feel motivated. Professionals just get the work done.
Now, the real bedrock of this entire foundation, it's brutal self-awareness. You have to be willing to look in the mirror because you can't fix something if you pretend it's not broken. And listen, this isn't about beating yourself up. It's actually the highest form of self-respect. It starts by asking yourself, all right, where am I full of it? You got to audit your own habits, your energy, your excuses. And then you have to face that uncomfortable truth because that's where the growth is. It's always in the uncomfortable truth.
All right, so the foundation is in place. Now it's time to build the walls. This part is all about defending your mental space, actively protecting your energy and your focus from all the stuff that's trying to get in.
And your first line of defense, it's your circle. Read that quote. Your circle is either building you or burying you. It's that serious. You just can't have a bulletproof mind if you're surrounded by paper-thin people. So you got to ask yourself, are the people around you fueling your goals, or are they just fueling your doubts with their own drama? A group that's cool with being average will always drag you down. You need people who challenge you, not just distract you.
Your next weapon in this fight is your focus. And you have to see it as a superpower, because we live in a world that literally profits from stealing your attention. Every ping, every notification, that's a thief. Every time you get lost in an endless scroll, that's a silent robbery of your time and energy. It's simple, really. If you can control your focus, you control your future, period. And this brings us to your most powerful shield of all, the word no. Seriously. You have to understand that every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you're saying no to your own goals. Saying no isn't rude, it's not selfish, it's strategic. It's you protecting your energy, your time, your peace of mind. And you should never, ever have to apologize for setting and defending your boundaries.
Okay, we've built the foundation, we put up the walls, now we go to the very core of this fortress, the inner sanctum. This is where we get into the real power of solitude. This is about finding strength in silence.
I want you to just sit with this question for a second. When did silence become so uncomfortable? We are so addicted to constant noise, constant stimulation, that the moment it goes away, we feel weird. We've forgotten what our own thoughts even sound like without a podcast or music playing. But learning to get comfortable in that quiet, man, that's a revolutionary act. It's the only place you can actually hear yourself think. The only place you can really figure out where you're going.
And a big reason why silence feels so strange is because of this simple truth. Mediocrity loves company. It's just easier to blend into a crowd. It feels safer. The easy road is always packed with people, because being average feels comfortable when everyone around you is average too.
But purpose, that's a whole different ballgame. You don't find your purpose in a crowd, you find it in solitude. It's discovered in those quiet moments when it's just you and your thoughts. And that's exactly why real growth often feels so lonely. It requires you to step away from the noise, to separate yourself from the things and sometimes people that are keeping you stuck.
So we have to completely reframe how we think about this. Being alone isn't a curse you need to avoid. It's a classroom. It's the space you need to actually meet yourself, maybe for the first time. It's where you build a kind of peace that doesn't need likes or comments or pats on the back from anyone else. It's where you figure out who you really are underneath all the noise.
So, we've gone through all these steps. We laid the foundation, we built the walls, we found peace in the quiet center. So what's the end result? What is this thing we've actually been building this whole time?
You take all these habits, all these tiny acts of discipline, all these moments, you chose silence.
And they all add up to build one single, powerful thing. And that is the inner fortress. And look, this isn't about being some tough guy who doesn't feel anything. It's not about being fearless. It's a mindset built from your scars, not from stone. It's that deep, quiet confidence inside you that knows no matter what happens, no matter what hits you,
You'll be able to handle it. You'll rebuild. It's being the calm in the storm.
But here's the most important thing you need to understand. This fortress, it's not handed to you. It is earned. It's earned in 1,000 little private wars that nobody else ever sees or applauds you for. It's earned on the mornings you got out of bed when you just wanted to hide. It's earned every time you chose discipline over distraction. Each one of those choices was another brick in the wall.
So we end up right back where we started. The world we live in, it rewards noise. It rewards being loud and being fast. But real strength, real purpose, that's not found out there in the chaos. It's built in the quiet. It's forged when you're alone. So the only question left for you is, are you brave enough to choose silence?